Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Whitney and I'm a fragrance and flavor enthusiast. Here on my channel, we mostly explore fragrances, but I sometimes like to throw in other content here and there just for fun. Before we get started, I just want to say thank you to everyone that has viewed, liked, commented, shared, and subscribed and bought me a bubble tea. So in today's video, I'm coming back with what I promised you, and that is a review on Elizabeth Arden's Green Tea Lychee Lime, which is a 2022 release, as well as two other 2022 releases, and that is YSL's Mon Paris Lumière and also My Way from Giorgio Armani, but the floral version. So let's get into it. So first up, we're going to talk about Elizabeth Arden's Green Tea Lychee Lime flanker, and this flanker was released this year, and I'll link the video of my perfume haul from all the fragrances I bought during vacation, and this bad boy was one of them. So the notes listed on Fragrantica for this fragrance are lime, lychee, bergamot, and lemon in the top. And in the middle, there's water lily, magnolia, and geranium. And in the base, there's tea, green tea, and we have lychee again. So this scent is one that is super juicy from that lychee from beginning to end. And I'm so happy about it because I feel like sometimes juicy scents don't always smell that way throughout the longevity of the fragrance. But I'm happy to report that this does smell juicy from the lychee from the beginning to the end, on me at least, and I'm really happy about it. And when I first learned about this scent, which was doing research online at Shoppers Drug Mart's website to see like what perfumes they had, and when I saw this, I was very much intrigued because I have the original green tea fragrance from Elizabeth Arden and I really enjoy it. It's like a classic, beautiful scent, right? But to be honest, none of the flankers that I've smelled before from the green tea range have like done anything for me. Like, I've been interested in some and I've been curious about some. And when I smelled them, I was very much disappointed, but none have really stood out to me to the point where I was like, I need that in my life. This is the first one that has ever done that. Hence why it is here in my hand. So like I mentioned, this is a juicy scent. When I first sprayed it on my skin, the first thing I smelled was the lychee. I really enjoy the lychee fruit itself, and smelling it in fragrance is really a joy for me. I do enjoy smelling fragrances that feature that note, and it's just like a tropical, subtly sweet, slightly sour, fruity note that is just so yummy to me, and it goes well with a lot of notes, particularly rose. But there's no rose in here, but there are quite a few florals, particularly white florals. Well, white floral, magnolia. And like I said, this is a lovely scent, and this is one that I feel like, again, like probably most of the green tea scents are like perfect for like warm weather, or even more specifically, just jumped right out of the shower, I want to put a fragrance on right now, and this is one of those that work very well for that. So when it comes to the performance of this scent, I feel like it's detectable. Like you'll have a scent bubble, right? But it quickly becomes a skin scent. I feel like after 2 hours, I was not able to pick this up on my skin anymore. Now, I do live in a warmer climate, so perhaps that is, you know, playing a factor into that. I don't think so, but like I said, this is this kind of scent where at least I don't expect longevity. I expect it to be something that I can put on when I want something easy and effortless, and I'm not looking for like something necessarily mind-blowing or beast mode. And I do, you know, there's a place for subtle simplicity. But yeah, this is one that I feel like is I was gonna say, can I tell that it's a green tea flanker? Not necessarily, but I do smell the green tea very obviously in this scent, like the actual green tea note. So perhaps that is, you know, that's why it's a flanker. It has that green tea note, but it's just like a fresh, easygoing scent. And let's see what the accords Fragrantica has listed. Let's see what they're saying. So the accords listed on Fragrantica are citrus, floral, fresh, spicy, green, aquatic, fruity, aromatic, and tropical. I'm like, spicy? Maybe the geranium gives a spicy note. Let's see what Fragrantica says about that. Rosy and green. I don't know. I don't know if I necessarily get spicy. Perhaps people are referring to the herbaceous quality of the tea notes, because I wouldn't necessarily describe it as spicy. If anything, I would call it maybe a soft spicy scent where it's not like in your face, hardcore spicy. But either way, this is a beautiful scent, and I feel like this would be perfect for people who are not necessarily looking to spend a whole lot on a fragrance, but they do want something that has a unique touch about it and it's easy to wear in the summer. And I feel like this is not the priciest fragrance out there, and I feel like with the performance, in some ways, that's kind of, I don't want to say expected, and I don't want to say warranted, but it's not necessarily surprising that with the lower price point, this doesn't perform like the best. But I will say, what helps is the fact that it is so unique. And I forgot to mention, there's, if I didn't already, there's like a sort of like the sourness that comes out in this scent that actually, now that I say that, reminds me of a scent that I do have here. And when I first tried the Lychee Lime Flanker, even though this smells different from what I'm about to share with you, I couldn't help but think of this particular scent. And the scent that I was reminded of is Fleur de la Passion from Fragonard. And this is a sweet and sour scent that features notes of like passion fruit and mango. And I think I thought of this scent because of that like sour tropical fruit vibe that I got from Lychee Lime. And like I said, they don't smell the same, but they do remind me of each other because of those qualities. But what I will say is that Fleur de la Passion kind of dries down a little bit more clean slash soapy-ish on me. Like, it has like a cleanness to it, whereas the Lychee Lime just has like a more demure fruity juiciness in the dry down, which I like a lot. But yeah, this is a beautiful scent, and I'm so glad that I have it. Now this is in, I'm pretty sure this is like the 1.7 fluid ounce. Yeah, so this is the 1.7 fluid ounce, and I'm sure this is one of the two sizes they have. They have like a bigger size as well. And yeah, I ended up picking this up because this was the only size they had in the store, but I'm happy to have it. I feel like, now I don't really go through my fragrances super duper quick, but because this is such an easy reach, especially in warmer weather, I feel like there's a good chance that this will be picked up a lot by me during the summer, especially like in the morning after like a really nice wake me up shower. So yeah, so that is Elizabeth Arden's Green Tea Lychee Lime. So next up, we're going to be talking about YSL's Mon Paris Lumière, and I have a sample size that I got as a complimentary gift with my purchase at Shoppers Drug Mart. So this is another 2022 release, and the notes in this one based on Fragrantica are lotus and lemon in the top, Turkish rose, datura, and jasmine in the mid, and then in the base there's white musk and patchouli. And the accords are white floral, floral, rose, musky, aquatic, patchouli, and ozonic. So I have my own notes from my experience wearing this because I did have a full day's wear test for this particular scent, and I'm just going to share my notes that I wrote down. So I described the opening as like a sparkly and peppery scent, and I was immediately like transported to trying on clothes in a luxury department store. That's just what it smelled like to me, like trying on clothes in a luxury department store. That's the image that came to mind when I first smelled it. So it smells kind of soapy, and I described it as like a peppery grapefruit kind of scent. Now there's no, like there's lemon. So I was gonna say there's no citrus. There is lemon, but it just smelled like a soapy, peppery grapefruit. That's what it smelled like in the opening to my nose. And then when I thought about it a little bit more, I was like, okay, this kind of reminds me of how ginger ale feels. Not so much how it smells, but how it feels. And I think that's where I got like that spicy nuance from. So I would think I was describing it as spicy, but it was more of a feeling that I was picking up on. So as it dried down on my skin, I feel like it smelled a little bit waxy in nature. And I say that in the least offensive way possible. It was just kind of like more muted in nature, but I will say that it still maintained like a fresh, spicy quality to it. So personally, I wouldn't describe this particular scent as like a sweet or aquatic scent at all, at least not to my nose. But what I will say is when I sprayed it on my chest, I feel like that is the area of my body where it really shone. Is it shone? It shone. It was like, it really, that like on my chest, for example, that's where I feel like there's a lot of heat. And on any of the particularly warm areas of my body, I feel like the scent really like sparkled. And I feel like it even smelled a bit more bold than it was initially smelling on me. And I also feel like it was a lot more sweet when it was coming up from my chest. And I will say, different body parts have like a different, like they create a different reaction to scents on me. I feel like, for example, on my left arm, scents smell very different than they do on my right arm. Go figure. And when I was really like evaluating the scent, I feel like it just smelled familiar. And I don't necessarily think it smells like anything I've smelled before, but it smelled, well, I had like childhood memories that I couldn't even like describe, but it just felt like familiar. And the word that came to mind was comforting. But unfortunately, after like 2 hours, this really just became a skin scent, and it was pretty much hard for me to detect on my skin. Like even when I was sniffing like really hard, I couldn't pick up anything. But in the end, when like I was able to, before it completely vanished, I feel like the dry down kind of reminded me of like a luxury dryer sheet. And again, I ain't saying that to be rude. I'm saying that just because that's what I thought. But the reason why I equate it to that is because it was like sweet, warm, comforting, and clean smelling. But I guess the biggest takeaway is that it smelled soft, and not so much in terms of like, I mean, I guess performance, but the vibe was just kind of soft in the dry down. So yeah, that is Mon Paris Lumière. Oh, and if I didn't tell y'all, did I tell you what formulation this is? They don't say, but I'm pretty sure. Oh, this is an eau de toilette, just in case you didn't know. So yeah, that probably plays a role in its performance, I think. So next up, I'm going to be talking about my Way Floral from Giorgio Armani. And again, this is a 2022 release. So the notes on Fragrantica are orange blossom, bitter orange, and green mandarin in the top. In the mid, there are notes of Indian tuberose and Tunisian neroli. And in the base, there's bourbon, vanilla, and white musk. And the accords listed are white floral, citrus, tuberose, vanilla, animalic, sweet, and green. So I'm going to share my notes that I took from doing a full days worth wear test. Full days test worth wear. Full days test worth of full day wear test. I think that makes sense. So I have here that this is a bright, tangy, soapy, juicy, sweet, tuberose, delicious. That's how I described it. And I felt like this is a multi-purpose scent where I could envision someone wearing this as a wedding guest as well as going on like a brunch date, which is awesome that it smells so like versatile. I think that's a very, very good quality a fragrance should have. Well, not necessarily, but it's always nice. And I described it further as smelling feminine and womanly, but not leaning too mature. But unfortunately, I felt like I had like an allergic reaction to the smell. Like I kind of got like this weird feeling in my throat, and I sometimes get that when I'm like, my body isn't reacting too nicely to a particular perfume. But I kept going because, you know, science. I'm just kidding. But I described it further as something that smells like a pretty woman, but also it's candy-like. And I felt like the candy quality about this scent lasted not only in the beginning, but as it dried down as well, which was pretty nice. And the scent really shone when I stepped outside. Like I feel like warm skin helped to develop this scent in a really beautiful way. And when I had this scent on, I was actually running errands, and I feel like this is the kind of scent that having it on, I knew I smelled good to everyone I walked past, because I knew how good I smelled, and I felt like people were able to smell me as well. And I don't necessarily feel like my Way Floral is a scent that you can necessarily overspray and get annoying, unless you're someone like me who had like a kind of weird reaction to it. So maybe it wouldn't be a good thing for overspraying in that sense. But I guess I'm trying to think of what it could possibly be that led to that reaction. Now, there's a bitter orange note, a green mandarin note, and a neroli note. And those are three notes that have like, okay, you know what? I guess most of the time eating unripened fruit is not like, you know, recommended. And when I've accidentally had unripened fruit before, my body didn't like it at all. And I'm wondering if that's like the vibe I'm getting with that green mandarin. Like, does that mean it's like not fully ripened mandarin fruit? And then there's bitter orange and neroli, which sometimes irritates me. So I don't know, child, but I'm just telling you what happened. So not necessarily trying to like scare you, but just letting you know. But reaction or not, I do feel like this is one that smells beautiful. I would describe the dry down of this as like a creamy floral neroli. And I went on to say that this is like a mass appealing scent, but I don't mean it smells generic. I just feel like a lot of people would enjoy smelling this. And I feel like what stops it from being like leaning on the basic route is that neroli factor, because to me, neroli is a note that I feel isn't super commonplace. I feel like it's unique enough where experiencing it in a perfume composition adds something unique to the overall scent composition, in my personal opinion, of course. And after about 4 hours, this became a skin scent on me, but at least with this one, I was still able to detect the scent without much effort. So that was pretty cool that after 4 hours, like, yes, it was there, but it wasn't as, I guess, pronounced as it was when I first sprayed it on. So yeah, that is Giorgio Armani's My Way Floral. So yay, I'm glad I got to share all of my thoughts on those three scents with you. Let me know down below in the comment section if you've tried any of these out. And if you haven't, let me know if any of these sound appealing to you. I am curious. So if you liked today's video, please give this video a like. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, I do encourage you to subscribe to get more of me. And if you want to support my channel even more, feel free to buy me a bubble tea. All that info is down in the description box. So as always, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you, and I will see you later. Bye! Get off of me. So first up, we're going to talk about Elizabeth Arden's Green Tea Lychee Lime flanker. And this flanker was released this year, and I did end up purchasing it, and you can watch that view. So personally, I wouldn't, oh, my nose. Muffy boo, muffy boo, muffy, muffy, muffy boo, muffy boo, muffy boo, muffy, muffy, muffy boo. So last up, I'll be talking about My Way Floral from Giorgio Armani. And is it My Way Floral or So next up, I'm going to be talking about Giorgio Armani. Giorgio Armani's My Way Floral. Now, it says Eau de Parfum Floral on my little sample-y samp, but I did get this in Canada, where French is one of the predominant languages. So I'm like, maybe it's just Floral on here because of where I was. But on Fragrantica, it's My Way Floral, and I think it's for the North American market other than Canada. It's child, I don't know what I'm talking about. Let me start over. So yay, I'm glad that I was able to share my thoughts on those three scents. Bye, Muffy. Muffy, you can say bye. She's like, Mama, shut up. Oh.